Hello friends, welcome back to our little coffee club. I know that I had said that on the next video I was going to brew this coffee here, but I have forgotten about this. I still haven't opened that. And also, there's one more story from the California trip that I never got around to saying and telling you guys about. And before I get into the whole Kentucky thing, I want to finish up California. And there's the story of Hearst Castle. I think it's very interesting. There's a few really interesting details that we're gonna get into here today in this video, and I will leave that all the way to the end because it's not really coffee related. So we're gonna brew some coffee. I'm gonna open this up. We'll do a pour over, and I'm also gonna do espresso. Today I plan to use for the first time the little shot glass from Not Neutral and the Cappuccino cup from Not Neutral. So we're gonna try those out today. And yeah, we're gonna do pour over, we're gonna do espresso and all of that good stuff. Then I'll leave the story until the end. And I think I'm gonna record that story in the car. So it'll be a little bit, different because this weekend I have to go for a drive. And I was thinking man, I wish I could be more productive and be able to do something in regards to the videos. While I'm driving, it's just kind of like a waste of time. You're going from point A to point B. My wife is not coming along. So it's like either I listen to music or So I thought, man, I can record the story of Hearst Castle because why not? I mean, it doesn't matter that I record it in the car. It's not coffee related, and I will include it at the end of this video. So I think it's a good way of a good use of my time and being more productive towards my videos. So yeah, that story is kind of fun, and I will tell it at the end of this video. Now, every time I start this camera, man, I have to say I get a little bit jittery. I'm a little bit scared, and of course, I'm not camera shy. It has nothing to do. Obviously, it has nothing to do with that, but. I'm always thinking man, I hope I'm not like one of these crazy days that the words just don't flow and I'm saying all kinds of things wrong and it takes me so long to edit that kind of, sometimes it's so absurd. The clips are so crazy. At times they're almost unusable. So, right now it felt like it flowed okay. So I'm hoping it's gonna be easy to edit. So I was thinking, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I still haven't had coffee. So, it dawned on me just now, just today, just before I started recording this, it dawned on me technically I could record the other part at the other counter, have the coffee, and then record this clip. Nobody's gonna know, but I don't know, man. You know how I do this whole traveling in time thing, doing it that way is just like going backwards, and I don't think it's gonna feel right. I think I'll mess it up even worse. So I'll keep trying to get better at this first clip because this is like the real tough one, okay? This is the real bad one. And then always, after coffee, then things become a lot easier. But it is what it is. So for now, I just keep trying to perfect my craft. That being said, let's take it over to the other counter and start getting things ready for this pour over. And yeah, let's get into it. All right, so here we go. So today we're having story time with O'Neill again. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. I think I have a good story to tell. But first we got to figure this thing out. And I know I had said I really want to try this coffee. I wanted it to be today, but I still have this. I want to finish up, like I said, the thing about California, and then we'll get into Kentucky and what I brought back from there, and we'll get to try this wonderful Kenyan coffee, which I'm sure will be great, although I have not tried this yet. So, all right, let's put this off to the side. Today we're gonna brew this. Okay, as far as this coffee, it says it's a medium roast. I don't remember if there's any tasting notes here. I don't think so. But, I'll let you guys know what it is I'm tasting. First, I wanna take a look at it. You know what, I think I have the kettle set at 96. I have a feeling this is gonna be even darker than what I'm imagining here. So I'm gonna go down to 93. I think that'll be more than hot enough. And okay, so the next step is say, how do we get this thing open? It's got like a little pull tab, but it's not. This is just like a decoration. Wow. All right, give me a second. Let me try to figure this out, and, and then I'll get back with you guys. All right, at this point, I'm just gonna cut it open because I have no idea how you're supposed to open this thing. I'm not about to like undo this thing or whatever. So we're just cutting it. Okay, that was easier said than done, but here we go. All right, okay, that wasn't that easy, but we got it done. Okay, let's see what's in here. We have a bag in a bag. There's nothing, no label, nothing on this one. Okay, now, you guys might not have seen the video when I first talked about this. I said that this was a gift. Somebody gave this to me, and is Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee, 100%, roasted in Jamaica. It is a very high-end coffee, but it's pre-ground. So how good is something like, nice high-end coffee if you buy something like this, like pre-ground already? So, that's what we're gonna find out today. Regardless, I'm sure, that it's not gonna, I'm sure it'll be good enough, right? So let's get into it. Okay, so this thing is very well vacuum sealed. I give them that much. And there's a chance there's a little bit of coffee trapped here. I'm gonna open this over the sink. Yeah, sure enough, that made a little mess when I cut it open. So, I could feel that there was coffee in there. Let's get, you know what? I am going to scoop up a little bit, put it in here so I can take a picture of it, show it to you guys so you can get a really good look at what it is that we're working with. Okay, the fragrance, it's just very coffee-like. It's exactly what you would expect from a bag of coffee. There's nothing special about it, but it's nice. Let me take a picture and show it to you guys right here. Okay, so after inspecting the coffee, you guys saw it there. It's lighter than I was expecting. So water temperature back up to 96. I'm gonna use the little guy today. I think this coffee is gonna need a good amount of extraction now. So maybe I'm gonna do only 12 grams. So 12 grams, 1:15 ratio, so 180 grams out. We'll do 3 pours of 60 grams and shoot for maybe 2.5 minutes. I think that'll be a good starting point for this coffee. I could be all wrong. We'll see what happens. So I'm gonna use this to dose into. Being that this is ground coffee, we are not checking retention today. Yeah, it's ground in a good way for what we're trying to do. For this type of brewer, I think this is pretty much spot on to get a 2.5 minute brew time. We'll see. It depends also how fast the coffee, obviously how fast it drains. They don't all work the same, obviously. Okay, whatever, 12.1, we're gonna roll with that. Okay, let me close this up. Again, I hope it's good, man. I hope it's really good. It'll be my daily driver now until it runs out. I make pour overs every single morning. Usually I'm on the Dunkin' unless I have some kind of a specialty coffee on hand that I'm going through. Right now I do have a couple of things that I'm going through, but it's very little coffee. It's a few brews left. So then after that, I'll just start using this as a daily driver if it's good, and I imagine it'll be good enough. Anyway, I'm hoping that it's gonna be better than just good enough. So we'll see. Now, honestly, do I expect it to be like better than the Dunkin'? To me, probably not. I don't expect this to have the kind of acidity I normally get from the Dunkin', and I really like that. As a matter of fact, this morning I had an AeroPress with the Dunkin', and it was delicious. You know, I really like that coffee as a daily driver. Could this be better? Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. So this is afternoon brew time. So let's get things going. Oh, you know what? I need to now. I almost forgot. I almost started brewing just like this. Let me set up the different angles because, you know, it has been working very well, that overhead angle, so you guys can see exactly what it is I'm doing. I want to see if there's some degassing happening with this coffee. That'll give us a sign as to how fresh it is. You know, I wouldn't expect a whole bunch, but who knows? Maybe it'll surprise us. So let me set things up. I'll see you in a second. Okay, so now we are set here with the 2 angles, and let's do the rinse. So yeah, man, you know, if it wasn't that you guys like, you know, brought this, I mean, I already knew, right? I knew that this would add interest to the videos. It would be nice to have both angles. But if you guys didn't bring it up, I would have, who knows? Maybe I would have never really tried to figure this thing out, because it took a little figuring out, but it's not that bad. And to edit the 2 different clips is not that bad either. So it adds a whole bunch of interest to the video. And you know, I'm glad you guys brought it up again. You know, what's happening is that the paper filter at the bottom, because it cannot poke through a little bit, then what's happening is that it's kind of bunching up at the bottom and it's not laying flat everywhere. So I'm not sure if you guys know what I mean, but you know, the little hole at the bottom of this brewer is so tiny that the paper usually sticks out the bottom a little bit, and here it cannot do that. So it's bunching up a little bit and it's causing it to not really be able to lay flat against the walls. But you know, it'll work. Again, this little brewer was given to me by my wife. It's made by Magnolia and it's sold at Target. And it's pretty nice. I like using it when I make small amounts like this. But it is a really slow brewer. You know, for this coffee, I think it'll work, but I have to, you know, I have to be careful what coffees I use it with. Yeah, today, definitely the filter is just not cooperating. Usually it doesn't bunch up this much. And one of the problems is that if it's, you know, if it's bunched up at the bottom like this, it's not gonna be able to flow properly. It's making me want to rethink this whole thing. But we'll see what happens. We're gonna push through. We're gonna push through and hope for the best here. I think maybe once I add the coffee, maybe I can make it fit better. So we'll see. Give me a second. Let me dump this water out. Okay, now everything's warmed up and rinsed. Let me, first of all, let me weigh it again. So we had 12 grams. Check it out, no retention. Yeah, right. I guess it's one of the pluses of buying it ground, right? You don't have to worry about retention. Okay, so now that it's in there, maybe I can move it a little bit. Okay, you know, it feels like when I moved it just now, it feels a little bit better. Let's hope it drains properly. So we're gonna push through. So I have my 12 grams there. Let me reset that. Okay, so we're shooting for, you know, 2 to 2.5 minutes. With this little bit of coffee, that'll be more than enough. The water's at 96 and 3 pours of 60 grams. So let's do it. Start the time. Just want to get everything saturated. Okay, I went a little bit over, like 33 grams. Oh, that's right, I said, you know, I was thinking of doing 30 and 30 like I usually do, 30 center, 30 circle. I didn't say that, I said I was just gonna go to 60. And then I stopped at 30, because I was thinking that. All right, we're at 35 seconds. We're gonna keep things rolling here. As you could see, not a whole bunch of degassing, but there is a little bit. So now we go to 120. Close enough, 117. Again, I'm afraid to like swirl it at all because I think it's just gonna slow down too much, so I'm not going to. However, that being said, it is flowing pretty nicely. So far, I think we're gonna be okay. Okay, let's go with the third. Again, now we gotta go all the way to 180. Let's wash everything off the sides. Okay, 180.1, we nailed it. I can stop the kettle. All right, so this will be a 1 to 15. Just gonna give it the one little swirl to just get it nice and flat at the end. Hopefully we'll be okay here. Man, this brewer is so slow. But it is pretty neat. I like using it, and when it's a small amount of coffee like this, it's pretty nice for this situation. Since I'm always like brewing like lighter roasted coffees, it doesn't really matter if they run kind of long. Usually they never get over extracted. I mean, you could over extract things, you gotta be careful, but like in this scenario, you know, I did practically no agitation. Just let the brewer do its thing. We did go over the 230 that we were shooting for, but I'm just about to call it. Let's see, there's still a few more drips to go. On this brewer, you could kind of see where the water level is in the bed of the coffee at the bottom. So I could see it's about to finish. And okay, that's it. I'm calling it here. So 3 minutes. 3 minutes, we went over by a whole 30 seconds. But you know, let's see. I mean, it depends. If the coffee is as light as it looks, we should be fine. But you know what? Before I even do anything, I'm gonna taste it right here. I'm gonna taste it right here because if it's like totally bad, I really want my afternoon brew, so I'll have to do it again. Let me get my cup out. Put a napkin there. I don't want my drips to mess everything up. Okay, let me stop the scale. Then we come in and give the coffee a stir. All right, cheers. Let me taste it and I'll tell you guys in a second. All right, it's good enough to drink, but it's very hot and it's hard to like really try to taste any, like tasting notes, but it is definitely good enough to drink. I'm not gonna brew it again. Oh yeah, definitely, we're gonna roll with that. I'll let you guys know in a few seconds when it has a chance to cool a little bit, what it is I'm tasting. And yeah, maybe we should grab a clip at the other counter and talk about it a little bit. All right, I'll see you guys there. All right, let's give it a taste. Now, as far as the aroma, I talked about the fragrance. The fragrance was just very coffee-like. The aroma, same thing. You know, it tastes okay, but it's just very coffee-like. It's something that you would expect to receive at a coffee shop when they give you something, pretty good. There's nothing special about it. So like I always say, specialty is just a little bit more special, and sometimes it's not. But a lot of times you do get a little bit extra from certain coffees. This is just, it's easy to drink, it's nice, nothing to rave about. As far as tasting, let's see. I would say that the flavor profile is somewhat traditional, kind of like you get your normal kind of like, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of chocolate flavor, Basically no acidity, good amount of sweetness. There is no bitterness. Yeah, it's smooth, easy to drink because there's no pickiness. There's no acidity, which the Dunkin' gives me. There's, the level of sweetness, it's okay, but it's not like something to rave about. It's not like, for example, when I had the cow, the one that I brought back from Seattle, Washington, from the Starbucks Reserve, the sweetness was something to rave about. It gave you just something extra as to the sweetness. I remember it not having any acidity either, but the thing is that the flavor profile was nicer and the sweetness was just better than this one. Definitely not as good as my beloved Dunkin', but again, I will drink it because I don't throw away good coffee, and it's not bad. It's not bad. But I would not make something like this my daily driver. As a matter of fact, Jay's House Nation was a lot better than this. This is supposed to be like some really high-end stuff, but I don't know. Maybe if you get it like fresher, you get whole bean, that might make a huge difference. I don't know. I'm sorry. I wish I would have liked it more, but it is what it is. It's okay. It's not. There's nothing offensive about it. As a matter of fact, I would rather drink this than like the regular Starbucks any day of the week. And for some reason, I also like dislike McDonald's coffee. I hope I don't get in trouble for that. McDonald's pulls the plug on my YouTube channel. I just gotta say, like the McDonald's coffee is like really bad to me. And the Starbucks like regular stuff is also really bad. Both of them definitely, like cream and sugar is mandatory. This one is not mandatory. This one's better, but Jay's House Nation would be definitely a step above this. And my beloved Dunkin', because of the acidity, would be a step above that. Because I just really highly value acidity in coffee. When it's pour over, okay? When it's filtered coffee, acidity is kind of like really appreciated by me. So yeah, I'm gonna finish it, but I don't want this clip to get super long and the video super hard to edit. So let's take it back to the other counter. I'll keep enjoying this, and let's do some puck prep and pull some espresso. All right, so let me clarify a couple of things first before we proceed with the little show here. Okay, first of all, like I said, that coffee was given to me, but it was given to me by a customer that knows that I like coffee. And okay, my customer has a warehouse, and he had this bag laying around, and he just said, "Here, I know you like coffee. Here, you want this? Take it." And I saw, Blue Jamaican. Yeah, sure, I'll take it. I want to try that. So that's how it happened. It wasn't like he went out to look for this gift, to give me a gift, and then he gives me this coffee. It didn't happen like that. So yeah, and the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I was looking, in the, that cover. Let me show you. Okay, on this thing, I was looking on this thing for tasting notes to see, because I just guessed it's just, just kind of like regular, what I would expect, like a traditional roast, like caramel, like maybe some chocolate, but it does have some sweetness, but there's no acidity, and even the level of sweetness is not great, and it's not like the cow, okay? If you know, like I always say, it's not that level of great sweetness. This is just some sweetness and kind of smooth, easy to drink kind of coffee, and that's what I guessed at it. And then I started looking for tasting notes. Now, there are no tasting notes from what I could see here, but one thing I did notice is that this is, okay, I'm recording this in December, okay? And this expired August of 2024. So that's why I wanted to tell you guys that my friend, it's not like he went out to get me this and then, okay, it just happened. He said, "Oh, here, I have this laying around here, take it. I know you like coffee." And that's how it happened, right? So because the coffee, I just noticed, right, it's expired. So that could have, in all fairness, so that's why I wanted to bring it up, because in all fairness, maybe this coffee is a lot better if you get it fresh. And especially if you get it whole bean and you grind it and all that stuff, it could turn things around a whole bunch. So yeah, I'm recording this in December. This is August. It's been expired for a few months. Usually the expiration date on coffees is like a year after they roasted it. So this coffee is like a year and a half old, which it was very nicely vacuum sealed, but it hasn't been frozen or anything, so it's not at its best. Let's just say that it's not at its best. I do not see tasting notes like I said, but one thing I did see is that it says, for a truly smooth, mellow, full body cup of your 100% Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee, and then they give you some way of brewing it. 1 tablespoon for 6 ounces of water or whatever it was. But what they're saying about smooth, full body, I'm bored with that. It doesn't talk about tasting notes. I would just say it just tastes kind of traditional. You get some of your like caramel, chocolate kind of notes. There's not a lot of, or not at all, like on the fruitiness. It doesn't have any kind of upfront acidity, and even the sweetness is not, it's not what I'm used to. Okay, so let's just say that. And if this coffee was fresh, everything could be different. So you know what? I'm still gonna drink it. I don't want to throw it away. It's not. Okay, I don't know. I'll report back to you guys what happens with this, but I still plan on drinking it. At least, who knows? Maybe I'll make it on the mocha pot. I should try some different brewing methods. Maybe, we could better things. Okay, so that's what happened with that. Now, something else I wanted to mention. In here, and what we are brewing today, what we're pulling a shot of, is Jay's Agent 99 Espresso coffee. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but you see, my machine is set at 85. Normally, as you guys know, it's always at 95. And I'm brewing closer to maybe like an 85 temperature by the time it hits the puck. And now I'm set at 85. So I imagine by the time it hits the puck, maybe it'll be even less than 85. Maybe it'll be at 80, or who knows. The point of the whole thing is that I am brewing at a cooler temperature because I found the Espresso Agent 99 to be better if you brew it for a little bit longer, but at a lower temperature. And to me, it tasted a lot better. And that's what that's how I've dialed it in. That's what I'm planning on doing today. That's why my espresso machine is at 85. The grind size on the zero is at, let me see, focus. Okay, there we go. I think you could see it there. It's at 16. Yeah, we're at 16. I remember it brewing for something like about 35 seconds, total brew time. And maybe it was like, because on this one, I don't do a pre-infusion. I just ramp up slow. So it was like 35 seconds total time. And I think it was like 27 seconds from first drip, something like that. And that's where I found it to be at its best. And that's, to me, it's better than if you just go at a hotter temperature and go faster. It just didn't work as well. There's something about these Slayer shots. There's something about brewing the coffee for longer at a lower temperature that I think I appreciate. And ever since the Bianca, and well, I shouldn't say that because even on the infuser, most of the time I'm brewing lighter roast coffees. So just longer, cooler temperature, it just works for me. It's what I found. Let me set things up and then we'll do some puck prep. Okay, so this coffee is dialed in, so we shouldn't have to struggle. We'll see. Okay, so we're gonna dose out our 18 grams. Went just over, maybe by 2 beans maybe. Put one back. Okay, whatever. We're between 18 and 18.1. Let's grind this on the zero at grind size 16. Again, these little canisters are to keep your coffee fresh. They're made by Fellow. They're called the Atmos, and they make a vacuum seal. You twist them like this, and they make a vacuum seal. keeps your coffee nice and fresh. All right, let me have a little bit more of this. Now that it's cooled, I gotta say it's even worse. So it's lost some of its little bit of excitement that it had going on. You know, I don't know, man. I'll brew it again. Maybe I'll do an AeroPress with it. I don't know. I gotta try something else. Maybe on the mocha pot. And I don't think I can like be a daily driver with pour overs because I'm just missing out on all my acidity and everything that I enjoy in a cup of coffee. So this would be like an emergency kind of cup of coffee, not a daily driver. All right, let me put this off to the side and then we'll grind it. All right, here we go. Let me show you guys once again the roast level of this one. It is medium to dark. It's not super dark, but it is quite dark. And again, I found, oh, my machine timed out. I've been recording for an hour already. Wow. Well, you know, I turned on the machine and then I had to finish setting everything up. All right, but anyway, here we go. Oh, there's one more. Oh yeah, there was one more bean. So I always start it again. All right, let's see. Do we have the 18 grams? Hey, all right, no retention today. I thought we were gonna have a little bit, but anyway, you guys could tell that these beans have a little bit of oiliness to them. And Jay mentioned that the retention I was experiencing when I recorded the video and the review as to this coffee was probably due to the fact of the oils, and the coffee's a lot more sticky. It kind of tends to stick to the inside of the grinder a bit more, and that made a whole bunch of sense. But as you can see today, we didn't have any. All right, and now we're gonna do our puck prep. Fluff it up a little bit. Again, I know we have a few new folks on the channel. If you have any questions about any of the tools you see me use, you know, if you have any questions about anything, you know, any of the brewing methods that I'm using, anything at all, leave me a comment. I answer absolutely everyone, okay? If I see your comment, I will answer it. And I usually see everyone's comments. I get notified. You know, I don't have like 1 million subscribers. So, you know, and the engagement with you guys in the comments and getting to know you guys is my favorite part of doing this whole thing. Okay, it's the only reason why I do these videos. So if you have a question, you know, let me know, because I know there's a few new folks, and I have always meant to go back and do like an instructional kind of video, like a tutorial as to all the basics and what is it that we call, you know, the dose and the yield and all the different names of everything, the dosing funnel and what's a puck screen and this and that, and you know, so kind of like basic instructions. If somebody out there feels like they need that and they want me to still get into that, then we can definitely tackle that project. I have always shied away from it because it's just, yeah, I don't know, it's not something I like to just start my brew session and share it with you guys and chit chat, you know. It's what I really like doing. But if somebody else out there is looking for a little bit of help, please let me know, because I would love to help you as well, okay? Okay, we don't have any condensation today. Let me give you a little bit different angle. Okay, this should work. Little WDT. Okay, and now we tamp. Okay, that's perfectly level. We come in with the puck screen. Okay, we lock it in and we pull our shot. Oh, I'm gonna run it today, I remembered, so why not? It has been on for quite a bit, so maybe in this kind of situation, I don't know, it does something. Let's dry it, lock it in. 5 o'clock. All right, let me set things up and we'll pull the shot. So let me go ahead and pull this shot. I'm going to be on the timer. And again, I'm gonna use the little shot glass from Not Neutral. First time I'm using it. Let's see how this looks. You should be able to see the bottom because this cup is quite short. As a matter of fact, we might get a little splashing, so let's see what happens here. Okay, so we're just gonna ramp up nice and slow, and we're looking for around 35 seconds, something like that. Okay, finish ramping up. As a matter of fact, it's flowing too fast today. So this is not ideal. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. We finished in 27 seconds. It should have gone for another 10. 16 seconds for first drip. That's not ideal at all. I'm wondering if I'm even gonna be able to use this clip because this is totally wrong. But it is what it is. You guys saw what happened. Let me taste it and see if, if I'm gonna have to pull another shot. So give me a second here, but look at how pretty the cup is. You know, I'm trying to do something more cinematic here for this, but it looks nice in the cup. Let's taste it. Okay, first I'm gonna give it a quick stir. All right, cheers. Actually, it looks really, really pretty in the cup. And the flavor is just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But wow, you know, the timing, everything was not ideal. I wonder if I'll be able to use the clip. I'm not gonna throw the coffee away because it tastes fine. These kind of darker roasts like this, you know, again, this is the kind of shots that you gotta extract fast, okay? Now, this was not ideal. I'm not trying to excuse my poor job here, but you know, definitely the taste-wise is just fine. Let me stop one of the cameras. Give it one more taste, but I gotta say, this is just fine. Yeah, I'm gonna use that for my cappuccino. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it is lacking a little bit of the sweetness that I've been able to get on some of the other shots, but then again, I'm just nitpicking at that point. But it could be better. I'm not saying this is my best effort by far, and you know, I don't know what happened. I know that from time to time you do have to tweak adjustments on your grind size as the coffee develops and ages. Okay, so this could have been some of that. And you know, as far as channeling, I didn't see any channeling. There's nothing on my counter. Everything looks clean. I'll take a look at the video and see how that looks, but it looks it looks fine. So I'm gonna push through and make my cappuccino. Give me a second to set up the cameras again.
So easy to remember that your heart
Okay, so I was standing in a horrible angle. You guys always, man, I try to record this like really nice cinematic thing. I don't think this is gonna be good at all. Let me zoom out. Okay, I was too zoomed in. But I don't think this is gonna be good at all. My latte art is horrible. It's got like this big bubble that I can't seem to tap it out. It doesn't want. What are you gonna do? I show you guys everything. It is what it is. This is what happened. Let's taste it and see if at least it's good. I did a poor job of pulling the shot. I did a horrible job of latte art. I was standing all sideways trying to make it work. And okay, I'm coming up with excuses. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I did a horrible job. So let's taste it. Let's see if at least that part is good. All right, even the taste is not good. So just a total fail today. But hey, I'm admitting it. It's a total fail. I wonder how this cup, what was this? The amethyst, I think they call it. It's like purple. Nah, you know, the amber one looks nicer, I do have to say. And I like it better. I like my little sunshine cup. But, you know, but this one is pretty too. I don't know. Some people will probably like this purple color better. The shot glass is nice and it's short, so I can still get that bottom angle. It comes out good. But yeah, it is what it is, guys. I hopefully you'll stick around for the rest of what this video is gonna end up being. Like I said, I'm gonna record the story while I'm driving this weekend and spend my time, you know, talking to you guys. So that's a lot better use of my time, sharing it with you guys, and not just going to waste maybe listening to some music or something. So I'll see you guys on the next clip, which I will record in the car. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry that I did such a poor job with the latte art, the shot, everything today was, you know, even my pour over was bad. So everything was bad. I'm still gonna drink it. Hopefully the story will be good. That is maybe a way of salvaging this whole video. But maybe I was able to entertain you. You guys got a laugh at my expense, like it usually happens. But anyway, thank you for spending the time with me. I really appreciate you guys a whole bunch. You know, by the time you see this video, I think it'll be January. So anyway, guys, hopefully everyone has a great 2025. And yeah, you know, thank you for watching. Please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you guys on the next clip in the car. And hopefully you guys enjoy the little story. All right, so yeah, I'm not recording in the car, so that was a total fail as well. So here I am back on the counter, and hopefully I get to tell you the story of Hearst Castle today. This is another day, it's another brew session, and I recorded it for you guys. I think you guys will see this brew session next week. I think it's the order, but I'm still enjoying some of the coffee. But yeah, I tried recording the clip, the whole thing about Hearst Castle in the car, and it didn't go well because traffic was really bad. Traffic in Miami is horrible. I was in an area that I'm not familiar with. I was a little bit lost and I couldn't pay attention to both things, so I just stopped the camera, okay? So safety first, okay? I mean, I was paying attention to what I'm doing driving, but you know, I had to concentrate more. So I didn't wanna be stumbling trying to tell you the story, so I just didn't record it. So here we are in the safety of the kitchen, and I will tell you the story of Hearst Castle. So William Randolph Hearst, okay, he's the one that built Hearst Castle, and he was born wealthy already. His family had made a lot of money in mining, and he wanted to build his own legacy, and he did in publishing. So he had bought several newspapers and magazines, and he made even more money. So eventually this family was extremely wealthy, and the property where Hearst Castle sits on, okay, is prime location. I mean, prime. All right, let me show you guys the area where Hearst Castle is and the beautiful location that this person picked out, whoever or whatever family was that once lived here. I don't know the whole history, but look at the entrance to the place. So look at all of this. The beautiful trees, flowering trees on the entrance, and then you drive up this hill. Now that's the ocean, so the view of the ocean from the property. Let me see if I can show you the property from here. But look at all the mountains and, you know, the ocean, the northern part of California coast, and this is like central California, I believe. But it's just, wow, what a beautiful location. Look at all the plants. Now the castle, where is it? I can't see it because it's covered by these trees, but it's up on the hill. So that hill up there, that's where it is. Maybe we'll film a little bit on the way up there. But what a location. No wonder they picked something like this, right? I mean, look at this. Wow, just spectacular. This is on the central coast of California, up on a cliff overlooking the ocean. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. The temperature in that area of the country is the best of the best. It just doesn't get any better. It's like usually around 70 degrees all year round. I mean, it's just beautiful, okay? It's spectacular. At one time, I think the property was over 100 square miles. So just immense. They bought the whole cliff, and that, you know, at one time it was the world's largest privately owned zoo. Okay, there were thousands of animals on the property, some exotic animals like lions and tigers and bears, and I mean, it was crazy. This gentleman had an incredibly lavish lifestyle. Okay, so have you guys seen The Great Gatsby? Yeah, he made The Great Gatsby look like Friday night at Chuck E. Cheese. Okay, so this is completely next level. It was super extravagant. Okay, so just something else. So as you enter the property, you drive up to like a welcome center kind of thing. There's a museum there, and it's where you buy your tickets. It's a gift shop and all that good stuff. You get your tickets, and the rest of the way up to the property, they drive you in a bus. So everyone that's in the bus with you is part of your tour and goes through the tour together. And the tour takes maybe about an hour, and they space the people out so that you never run into another tour guide. So when you get up to the property, there's your tour guide is there waiting for you, and then they walk you around, show you around the place. Okay. I think the most iconic part of Hearst Castle is the pool. Okay, it's I'll show you know, as I speak to you guys, I will show you images, show you some little clips and stuff that I recorded. All right, so the pool is just next level. It looks like something in Rome and just out of this world. The gardens, everything is just immaculate. You know, they used to grow pretty much everything they needed there. So it's extensive. The property had several houses. I think it was like over 20 houses. They had an incredible amount of people that worked there, okay? And they had guests all the time. I mean, this was just, to keep this place running, I mean, it's just unmanageable kind of money, okay? Just crazy. So yeah, the pool outside is like very iconic, and it's only outdone by the interior pool. So the interior pool is even more over the top with, I mean, I'm talking about like the tiles of the pool are lined in real gold, and like just it's over the top extravagance. Another thing that really caught my attention is the amount of artwork that they have all throughout the property. These are very unique pieces of art, like something that belongs in like at the Louvre, for example. Okay, it's like really over the top. It's one of a kind, very artwork that is priceless. Okay, and something else then towards the end, they take you into the movie theater, and the movie theater just completely blew me away. This was like, I was like, wow, imagine. I bet you that there was people that visited this property, and maybe the very first movie they had ever seen was here at Hearst Castle. So just the movie theater is just crazy. And I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about, you know, our visit to Hearst Castle. I think it's very worth doing, is worth it. So I think the tickets were like 40 something or like $50 or something per person. So a little pricey, but I mean, think about it, to keep this place running. And now this property has been donated to the state of California. They run it like a museum, and I think it's worth visiting for sure. You know, something that caught my attention was, you know, after they bus you back down and you're back at the visitor center, Yeah, you can go into the museum area, and they have the projector that they used to show the movies in the theater. And when I look at this monstrosity, I mean, this thing is enormous. What caught my eye is the fact that the projector had a chimney. So I was like, oh my God, what were they burning in here? All right, let me have a little bit more coffee. So yeah, today I was brewing some of Jay's, the little coffee he sent me in the little baggie. I scored it the way he wanted me to do that. I think it's gonna be, for you guys, it's gonna be the next video from this one. And then I decided, okay, let's record the story of Hearst Castle. So yeah, the projector caught my eye and my attention because of the chimney. And I was like, well, they gotta be burning something. I investigated, I looked, and I could see where, I'm gonna show you guys, let's include that here now. I'm gonna show you guys a clip that I recorded, and I remember pointing this thing out during the clip, so take a look. Little clip here. This was a movie projector back in the day, but here's what I found most interesting. So you could see they must have had electric power by the time this thing was being used, because there's motors and everything to drive the actual film through where it shines out. But it looks like whatever they were using to provide the light source, okay, it was not electric. They're burning something. Here they were burning something. I think it looks to me, I wonder if one of you guys knows a little bit more about this, but here's maybe a little explanation. I haven't even read it. I'm just using my imagination here. But I think they were burning something, okay, and as it burned, this receptacle here probably caught the ash of whatever was burning, and it would project out this way to, for the light source for the projector. And then what led me to really look into it is because it has a chimney. So you see, it's got a chimney. So then that's why I was saying, well, I told myself they must have been burning something. And then I started, to kind of think about how all of this process, how it works. I wonder if one of you guys knows a little bit more about this. Leave me comments if you can figure this one out. But man, this was a by now, I don't know if you guys saw the movie theater, but if not, I'll put a picture here so you guys could take a look at what the movie theater looked like. And I imagine that at the time that they were running movies there and the family was living in the house and all that, maybe to a lot of people, it was the very first time they had ever seen moving pictures. So it must have been amazing. Wow. Okay, as you guys could see from the clip, there's something there that's supposed to hold on to something that's gonna burn. And there's a little catch tray below it, and then there's a chimney. Okay, so after getting back from the trip, one of the very first things I looked up was, the thing about the lake and, being out of water and all that stuff. I already told that story. And then I looked up as to how did this projector work? I mean, what were they burning in there? So if you guys are familiar with arc welding, so those carbon rods that they melt to create the welds, it's basically the same thing. They're carbon rods that when they burn, they burn very, very intensely and very bright. And that's what gave the light to be able to project the image onto the screen. So imagine that. They had already figured out all these motors and all these mechanical things to run the film through this thing, and lenses and all kinds of complicated timing and all this stuff, but they still didn't have a light that was bright enough. You would think it'd be the other way around, but I don't know, at least that's how I feel. Maybe it should have been easier to create the light source than all the other mechanisms, which are so complicated. But so the way this thing used to work, right? They had these carbon rods in there burning intensely, right? The rods used to last 20 minutes, and the film came in 20-minute rolls. So usually you had to use maybe 4, 5, 6 of these rolls for one movie. So there were 2 projectors in the projection room. And as you were playing the first roll, you're getting the other roll ready. So the rod, after it stops burning, then you had to have the other projector ready to go with the next part of the film, then they would insert into the film a couple of slides that you could see off on the, I believe it was the lower right-hand corner of the projected image. You would see this flicker happen, and that would be a cue to, hey, start the next projector because it's about to run out. And if you remember seeing old films, I remember how you would always see that flicker. I never knew what it meant. So that's what it meant. It meant that the film's about to run out, get the next projector going so you could swap. And that's what they did. They would run the next one for the next 20 minutes and go back and forth, burning these carbon rods that burned very intensely and created the light. So, hopefully you guys found this little story somewhat interesting. Another thing is, as I searched for the information as to how this thing worked, I ran into what they used to use before the carbon rods. Okay, so I think those were called carbon arc lighting. Okay, carbon arc lighting. And before that, they used something called limelight. So you've heard the expression, oh, you just want to be in the limelight. So yes, I know what the expression means. You want to be the point of attention. You want to be the center of it all. You want to be the main character. That's kind of like what it implies. But how did that come about? Like, why the limelight? You just want to be in some green light? Is that what that means? But no. So being in the limelight came because that's the way they used to light the main characters on stage, with a spotlight, and the light source was limelight. So limelight is created by just heating limestone. You heat limestone, I believe it's to like 900 degrees, and then it turns into something else. The chemical composition of the stone changes, and then the next time you burn it, it burns extremely bright, and that was limelight. So after limelight came the carbon arc lighting, and yeah, I found all of that to be very, very interesting. You guys can later Google it and search a little bit more if you want to know more about that. I found it to be fascinating. Another part of the story that I think is quite interesting and worth saying is something my sister told me. Okay, so I've told you guys before, my sister's a historian. She knows a lot about history. So, she told me the story of Patty Hearst. So Patty Hearst, Patty Hearst is the granddaughter of the guy that built the castle, or William Randolph Hearst. And, Patty Hearst, she was abducted. She was kidnapped. And they stuck her in a closet for over a month. I think it was like 50 days. And, they would obviously feed her and give her water, maybe clean her up, or I don't know what they did, but she was locked away for like 50 days. And when she came out of there, she had developed, I think my sister said it was called Stockholm Syndrome, which is a condition that happens, it's like a mental condition that happens as a way to for self-protection, so that perhaps you don't get killed by your captors, okay? So you develop a liking for the people that tortured you in this way, okay? So you become sympathetic to what they've done to you, and you kind of end up liking them. So I'm not sure if I'm explaining all of that right or using the right words, but that's what's again, sometimes this is a little bit difficult because the word that I want to use is not coming to mind, and I can't just pause here and wait forever. So that's the way I'm explaining it, okay? She started developing a liking towards the person that locked her away. So when they let her out of the closet, she ends up participating in some illegal activities, let's call it, some illegal activities. Some of them being bank robberies. Patty Hearst actually participated in several bank robberies. So obviously she was a very famous person, so she was recognized, and eventually they were captured, and she went to jail. So hard to believe that she actually served time for this, because she had a mental condition when it happened, and I don't think she ended up like killing anyone or anything like that. It was just robbery. But still, you go to jail for that, and although I'm sure she had like the best lawyers available, she still was found guilty. Eventually, after a few years, she is pardoned, I believe my sister said, by Jimmy Carter, and then eventually Bill Clinton wipes her record clean. Okay, so you know, Patty Hearst is still alive, I believe, and you know, this story is not that old. Hearst Castle was built in the year 1919. So during the era of Prohibition, so during the 1920s, again, that's why the lavish parties that were going on there, right? The Great Gatsby, the drinking and everything that was going on illegally at this property. Again, nobody would go there. This is up on a hill, and you know, there's wild animals running loose. I mean, so actors, famous actors, singers, all these people would go and just, you know, it'd be craziness. So they had an extensive amount of liquor stashed away in Hearst Castle. You know, as you go through the tour, they don't tell you all these parts of the story, okay? They don't tell you about Patty Hearst and all the drinking going on. So they kind of skip over that. But yeah, you know, I found it to be super interesting. I think it's worth visiting. And hopefully you guys liked the little story, and I was finally able to tell you this. Oh, you know, from there we went to Morro Rock and in Morro Bay, which is where Morro Rock is at. It's very fascinating hill that just comes out of the ocean. I think it's some volcanic thing that happened there, like obviously like many years ago. And this big like cliff just sticks out of the ocean there on the bay. And we had dinner there and saw the sunsets and took some great pictures. I hung out there for a little while, and then we drove back to the beautiful Paso de Robles town, where I had the Cold Stone ice cream and went to see the park with the lights, and you guys saw that story already. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about and what story that was, comment below. I'll give you the link to it. I think that video turned out pretty awesome. If you want to see it, let me know. I'll give you the link. So this pretty much completes everything that I wanted to talk about as to the California trip. On the next video, we should be able to start with Kentucky and brew the coffee I brought back from Louisville. We'll brew it, take a guess at the tasting notes and all that good stuff that we always do. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, man. I appreciate you guys a whole bunch. Thank you for being here with me for however long this video turns out to be. Please remember to give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And yeah, I'll see you guys next Sunday.